was shocked at anything, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't more shocked of him dying. I was more.
Lauren Windsor with the Undercurrent. The hot topic on the Hill this week was the gun control legislation. Moms Demand Action was lobbying different congressmen on the Hill. There have been several polls that come out that 90% of Americans support universal background checks. What's your stance on that? Do you support universal background checks?
I haven't got involved in that. In our state, we have already had, prior to my being governor, background checks to prevent felons and others with similar situations for possessing firearms. We have a significant system there, one that's worked successfully in the past, and I haven't got engaged at the federal level.
So, would you support any further legislation? I know that it's pretty unpopular with most of the congressmen groups, but the ban on high-capacity magazines or assault rifles.
In our case, the reaction I've seen in the past year in terms of issues like that has been, I thought there were some people that wanted massive gun control, there's some people that wanted to arm everybody in schools. I thought both kind of give a false sense of security. The better issue is the one we've dealt with in Wisconsin, where we put new resources and new abilities into helping people, particularly with severe mental illness issues, which seems to be a consistent issue in a number of these tragedies, not only in terms of those using firearms, but others using explosives. And that's really where we put our focus there.
So then you don't think that it would be a good idea to put armed officers in every school?
I don't think it's certainly not something I'm advocating to be mandatory. Many of our schools, including the schools where my youngest son still goes to high school, have law enforcement officials there, but that's something the state doesn't mandate. That's something the school districts take upon based upon their own security issues and plans. They're not prohibited from doing it, but they're not mandated to. So my point in that was saying I don't think we should, in reaction to that mandate, that every school have to arm someone, and the same on the other end of the spectrum. I don't know that pushing whole new waves of gun control is necessarily the answer. The larger constant issue that seemed to come out of some of these tragedies was people who had severe, in many cases multiple years of severe untreated mental illness issues, and that to me seemed a bigger issue. And even in our state, early this year, we had someone come into the Capitol with a backpack full of Molotov cocktails that was intent on causing harm. Obviously, gun control wouldn't have affected them, but maybe providing some assistance for people who fall through the cracks when it comes to mental health services.
Hi, I'm Jackie Koppell, CPAC report. I understand you're obviously focused on Wisconsin right now, but what do you see as the major kind of upcoming issues for 2016? And obviously you went through a big fight with the unions. Would you take on the unions countrywide, nationwide?
Well, on the latter, I'm just, like I said, focused on Wisconsin. One of the things I've said since June of last year, kind of people ask what's the outcome of the recall was, other than the fact I'm still governor, which is nice to be able to push these reforms, it gives me a platform. People are much more interested in what's happening in Wisconsin because of what we went through, so I can talk about the good, positive things, the turnaround of the economy, the turnaround of the budget, the new attitude amongst employers. I mean, when I ran for governor in 2010, just 10% of our employers surveyed thought we were heading in the right direction. Today, 93% think that. So I get to tell that story. The other part I say going into the 2012 elections is it gave me an opportunity to support like-minded candidates, both in my state and across the country, and I did just that.
And it makes me wonder if I'm under some sort of spiritual matrix with the truth put over my eyes with the evil forces that compromise my state of mind. Have I been hypnotized to believe in lies?